Welcome to the HyperFast Agent Growth Show. Get real strategies, real results, and real estate them differently. Lead generation, team building, AI, and more from billion-dollar agents, best-selling authors, international speakers, and real estate coaches, Keri Shull and Lesniak. Let's dive in!
Welcome back to the HyperFast Agent Growth Show. I'm here with Keri Shull.
Hi guys, how's it going?
And today we want to talk about kind of a high-level overview of AI and what the different levels of use are, and where you should be at it now. Right?
Okay.
So we've done a lot of past episodes, guys, on specific tools that we're using in our own business, the team, everything we do. So if you haven't seen those, like the first 10 episodes we did were almost all AI. Go back and take a look. Today's a little bit more of a higher level overview of the different levels of AI, and my kind of category that so don't take this as like the only way of looking at it, right? Is that there's like 4 levels of using AI right now. I think level 1 is getting on Chat GPT, and you're kind of using it like a better Google, really, right? Maybe you're searching for things on it. Maybe you're having strategic conversations with it. Like you've been big on that for the last
Huge.
3 or 4 months at least.
Longer, yes.
You're coming up with strategies with it, using it to find data, right? So hopefully all of you are at that level right now where you're at least doing that. I think there's far less people the next level 2, which I would kind of consider to be using AI to do things faster, right? Like you use it to generate a listing report. You're still involved in each step, right? But you're using it, so you're doing it faster. Using AI to come up with an onboarding plan for new agents, right? Like what are some other kind of cases you can think of using AI to do things faster, better?
So even like the research for an off-market property for a client, right? You can use AI to give you all of the homes that are on a cul-de-sac in a specific neighborhood meeting specific criteria. And it'll go look at the county website and come back with a list for you. And you can do research that way. If we were doing that by hand, it would take a lot longer. Yeah. So I would say that's an example of something that's just like it turns a project around really, really quickly.
Yeah, or generating like a website, right? Like making websites with Lovable or Cato. So there's tons of, I think, use cases level 2 using AI to do things better. And I think far less people are there because it's like every week there's like a new tool, a new app that comes out that has a really good use, but it's a lot to always be learning.
Yes.
But more important than ever, because like level 3, which I'll talk about now, like I probably before 2 weeks ago when I went to a real estate conference, barely even knew it existed. Right. And like we're still like, okay, this word means this and this means that. And so it's agentics. Would be like I think one of the industry terms for it, which I think for in our industry it gets even more confusing because people are agents, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot to take in, but so important that you do. But basically, what that is now you're using AI as like a high level PhD in multiple fields, like chief operating officer in a way, right? So now with Agentics, think like VA, think chief of staff. You know, you tell that person something you want done, and it gets done. Like they go out and find the tools and the people and the resources to do it. You're not monitoring every step because if you were, there's no point in that person.
Which isn't a person.
Right.
To be clear.
So that's like what Agentics is. It's, there's a lot of different systems I've been learning about that it's on. It's, you can do it on Claude, you can do it with OpenClaw. And basically this computer or that you have dedicated or some people run them in servers, they communicate with you via text or WhatsApp or Telegram. So like instead of going to a VA or a staff member and saying like, I'm going on a listing appointment to, 123 Main Street, prepare the documents I need for signature, prepare the pre-listing packet, prepare the CMA. Um, Now you would text that to your agentic, right? Whatever, and it would have a name probably. You'll give it a name, but you'll text it. It will, write back to you in whatever manner you want, tell you it's working on it. Then when it completes it, not only sometimes will it completes it, but it'll say like, hey, I did this, I did the CMA, I did like you asked, I did the pre-listing packet. Um, you didn't ask for a net sheet though. Should I do that? Right? Like it'll,
Catch things you
yeah.
missed. Yeah.
So you give it access to all of your systems basically. Like it's in your email, it's in your CRM. um, Carrie just got nervous, just me saying that.
I did. I did. I have mixed emotions about this. If you're a team leader that has spent your life building your CRM and you're not a little nervous about that, I don't understand it. But there's a massive opportunity, right?
Yeah. But obviously you control what it gets access to. So you can take this to like whatever level of comfort you have. You're the one that decides like what it has access to, what it's going to do for you. Um, but it's basically uh, it's basically like a high level employee that works 24/7 and is like the perfect employee.
Yeah. And listens and doesn't have emotional reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, so let's just like talk on this level for a minute. What are some of the things that you're hearing, like some use cases, some specific pros and cons? Because I want to say like I'm reluctant on the CRM, but when I take a step back, I'm obsessed with Shiloh as an example. Shiloh, it was probably considered phase two,
Yeah.
right? And Shiloh is role playing with every single agent, ISA, business development specialist we bring on the team and upgrading their skill without the involvement of a leader. But it's been programmed over the last 12 years from some of the highest level real estate teams listening to all their conversations and programming it. So I mean, it's probably giving better feedback and coaching real time than I could even give, right? So I look at that and then I'm like, wow, if I'm not evolving to phase three and open to that, when I think about what opening my mind to phase two has done, right? But it's like, where do you draw the line? So, Dan, you came back from Cabo and you shared a story.
Yeah, well, two stories, I guess, so we can kind of frame this. The speaker who first started talking about, you're getting off camera there.
Okay.
The speaker who first started talking about Agentics used an example, like he was going to an event on Friday, then one on Monday, and texted his Agentic and said, "I want to take my family on a trip to Disneyland in between these two events I'm speaking at," and then that Agentic came back, said, "Here are the options for flights, hotels. Which ones do you like?" Boom, boom. It booked the hotels, booked the flights, tickets, everything. He didn't have to put a credit card in. Like it had its own credit card.
Yeah.
So
By the way, that sounds beautiful to me. Like, we travel a lot, and just that's a lot of logistics and back and forth. And like, if you can think about how you talk to ChatGPT or Claude or whichever AI platform you use when you're driving, you could be like checking off your to-do list. Oh, like that sounds magical. I'm totally excited about that idea. That doesn't scare me. The idea of it having a credit card with a fixed amount on it, like there's only so much damage that can be done. Like, oh shoot, I'm going to Italy, not like France or whatever. Um, I feel like there's like a limit to the
yeah.
damage that can be done, right? So that's less scary to me. I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up for that.
Well, what? Yeah, and on the other end of it, I heard a story. I haven't like personally read the details on it, but supposedly one of these systems sold someone's car for $0. I don't know if that's kind of
Sign
like
the contract, like
yeah. I
everything.
don't know if that's urban legend or happened. I will say this though, AI changes really, really rapidly. Like again, it's like some of the level two kind of things, like HeyGen, that's probably the easiest one to pick on. And maybe some of the AI phone calling systems, right? Some of those when they first came out were not great. Like HeyGen was weird with the hands. Um,
Hmm.
couldn't do long videos. And
Robotic
then
speech.
all of a sudden, you kind of like pay attention. Maybe you don't engage with it much, right? Or whatever. Well, 3 months later, you hear it's like the best thing ever. Like
Hmm.
so it moves fast. So like maybe with some of these new agentic systems, there's some errors made. Certainly there was probably when Tesla came out with full self-driving. Now it drives better than humans do. Proven statistic. All right. Um,
I'm
so
surprised you haven't made me get a Tesla yet.
well, we
He's
could do
not
a whole
gonna touch
nother
that.
show on that. But so now I think, we're in this era where it just changes so fast. So even if it comes out and it's clunky, imperfect, hard to implement, it could be drastically different in 2 months. So you have to just be learning very quickly.
Can I say something on the HeyGen? So I use HeyGen. I've shared that on other episodes, and recently I saw that my team was working on a HeyGen. So what will happen when they're working on it? It'll come in my email, and I'll see that it popped up, and it popped up, and I saw it playing, and so then I'm like, huh, and I looked kind of weird, so I looked at it, and I was saying the same video, but they were testing me saying it in like 13 different languages. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many use cases. There's so many opportunities for how we can leverage this in real estate. And so even that, like that's a change that's such a minor change, but the amount of opportunity that can be harvested from using it in that way, which I didn't even know that it did that, like in one moment it changed and fast.
Yeah. So I think the point of this is like the change is coming very, very quickly. And a lot of what we do as real estate agents is going to change. And I think it's a good thing though. I think it's going to take away a lot of the non-income producing activities. But again, this is a large transaction that people do infrequently. So they still want that personal touch, the confidence, the person who's skilled, you know, at the beginning of the process, at the end, and the key points in the middle. So we'll be doing less of the things in the middle,
Mhm.
and the agent, but we still have to do those beginning end, the lead gen, right? So you're gonna have more time to focus on the things that are gonna make you the most amount of money. So don't fall into the trap though of like I'm gonna spend all my time learning AI, get really good on the systems, and you know what? You're not lead generating anymore. You're not calling your past clients. You're not staying in touch, going to networking, right? So if you use it too much as a crutch and allow it to take up the time spent building your business, right? That also wouldn't be good.
Yeah, so on that note, I really respect at EXP, we have a chief technology officer, Seth, and Seth and I were having this conversation about a tool that you could have go inside your CRM and optimize things. You could also have it do like vacation travel and those kind of things. And I've had that idea on a shelf. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm implementing as much as I can implement, and there's other things I want to implement, and I shelf them, and I have this list of like other exciting things that I want to dig into. And so the time came where that was at the top of my list and I went back to implement it, didn't exist anymore.
Mm.
Right. So if that had been the thing you went all in on, all of that time that you invested would be for naught. Right. So I bring that up because I think what Dan's saying about you have to have the basics in mind and then you have to use AI to help you scale the that is so true and I totally agree with you. And I also have a fear of like I don't want it working out the kinks on my CRM. Like, and I'm using Shiloh, so I obviously got past that fear at level 2, but on level 3 I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be the database that gets deleted on accident, or like what do I do? And everyone's like, oh, put safeguards on it. Like, what safeguards? If you're using it to be able to manipulate the data in your CRM to be able to optimize it, there's always a risk that like the phone number column gets messed up, or I have fear around that. So I'm curious for everybody who's watching this that's using systems like OpenClaw or using the third tier, please share your comments in the feedback. Tell us what's working. We want to learn. That's part of why we're doing this episode, right? And part of why we put ourselves in rooms like you going to Cabo, and all of the events we attend, because we want to keep upgrading our knowledge. And you guys are part of our group if you're watching this, because you're here to continue learning just like we are.
Well, and we're going to be talking a lot about AI at the HyperFast Summit. That's going to be in Northern Virginia, May 6th, and then 7th if you do the mastermind part. We haven't even announced it soon, and maybe it'll be announced by the time this podcast goes out. But get there, because we're going to have speakers and agents that are using AI at the highest level, and you want to hear what they say. You want to come up to them at lunch or coffee and really dig in and ask more, right? That's how you learn, that's how you grow. So make sure if you're listening to this, you get to the HyperFast Summit on May 6th, do the mastermind on May 7th too. We will put information about it in the show notes or YouTube comments. So check that out. All right, guys. I didn't mention level 4 yet. That's because I don't know what it is, right? But I'm sure it's out there, and maybe even 5 and 6, right? So the point of it being 4, but I really only knew 3, was that
Into the unknown.
we don't know what's coming next. I do think, again, it's gonna be a huge opportunity for the agents that spend 80% of their time generating leads, converting clients, right? But are also investing 10 to 20% in learning the best AI, because then that will give them more time to be in that 80% money making zone, right? So don't stay behind on this. Keep up, even if it feels exhausting. If you enjoyed this episode or any of them, please leave us a review, comment on YouTube, 5-star rating is only on Apple. We love reviews, we love feedback, and share this with other real estate agents that you think would get some value out of it as well. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to HyperFast Agent Growth Show with Keri Shull and Dan Lesniak. Real strategies, real results, real estate done differently. If you love this episode, tap subscribe and share with another agent who's ready to grow.